Today, I'm out here milking Happy and gonna let Miss Mary out here in just a minute, taking care of these dairy guys. And Rich is gonna be doing some more things with the pigs.
Got a couple of things to do here in the breeder hog area. First, Tex, our boar, is in with a couple of sows, and I believe he bred one of them. And our 3 gilts that you saw on our last hog video are coming into heat soon. So the first thing is we got to get Tex out of the pen with the sows, moved over to the pen with the gilts, and we'll use the lane that's right behind me in order to do that.
The work from home craze that was started, really what I feel like during the pandemic and everything, has really got people wanting to work from home, do things like homesteading and farming and such as this. And I think that farming is probably the original work from home profession. Don't leave the farm if you can help it anyways. So with that though, a lot of times, though Rich and I both technically work from home and running a business, running a farm and homesteading and such, we really do enjoy being able to do our life together, do our chores together, ride around and see the different animals and the cows and how are the chickens doing, and just take care of each individual grouping of animals together if we can. But some, like the pigs, for instance, but sometimes there's so much with a multi-species farm and just a couple of us, a few of us out here tending to everybody, that we really do have to split up. We have to divide and conquer. So today,
the next thing is it's been raining a lot and we haven't had a chance to get them out of their training area yet. So it's really muddy. So we're gonna open them up through that back gate that I showed you on the last video, and I'm gonna clear a path for them so that I can put up an electric wire around basically a yard area for them outside of their pen area.
we're working on getting the pig training area set up for the piglets. We're trying to get our new breeders, their area all situated, and they were just in so much mud and all that. So a lot of work having to be done just often dictates the fact that we have to split up. So we're going to get Happy milk this morning, and then what this is called fly swatter. It's an all-natural fly repellent. It does help with the flies, at least while I'm milking her. And we do have the farm set up in such a way that most of the time, each individual species can be tended to by one person. So that in the event that I'm not here or he's not here, or if neither one of us are here, maybe we can have somebody come out and farm sit and things like that. Got you cleaned up, girl.
So we'll be doing those 2 things today, and then towards the end, I'm hoping it's looking like we're going to be able to go pick up our last batch of feeder pigs that we will buy before we farrow our own pigs. So stick around with us and let's see what we get done.
I got Happy all cleaned off, and what I'm doing right now is just kind of giving her an opportunity to let down her milk. So I'm going to give her a couple of minutes to just let it all down for me and open her udders up and all of her whatevers in there, and so that her milk really flows whenever it's time. I can see it ready now.
All right, let's see if we can get Tex separated from the sows. Okay, big guy. That worked well. Got Tex in the lane, shutting the gate back to the sows.
I think that's about all she's gonna give me. She's gonna save the rest of that for Mary. One thing about these Jerseys, and probably most dairy cows, is if they have a calf on them, they will tend to hold back some of their cream up in here for their calf for a little bit later. So right now she's in early lactation. She's about 6 weeks from her calving. She had Mary about 6 weeks ago. That being said, her cream line right now is about like maybe 1.5 to 2 inches, but later on in lactation, maybe this summer coming into fall, her cream line will get even heavier and heavier. But since she has Mary on her, we don't mind that because she needs the fat and the nutrition for her too.
Now I'll open the gate to the gilts and let Tex in. Hey, buddy. Okay, here you go, Tex. And just like that, Tex is in with the gilts. I'll shut the gate.
So to me, that looks like it was probably about 3.5 gallons of milk. Okie dokie. Are you all done? Are you all done, Miss Happy? Okay, let's untie you. Thank you very much. I have other things to do. And don't hit the camera on the way out, okay? Okay, off you go. Out. Good girl. Out. Out. Go on. Good job. Your turn over there a little bit. All right. Out you go. Good girl.
So everybody's getting reacquainted. This isn't the first time they've seen each other.
Since we don't have a lot of permanent fencing and permanent structures for each of our individual species, whether it be the meat chickens or the pigs or the, well, dairy cows even, we do have this small structure and area for them, but we move them in their paddocks with the electric wire and the poly fence and all that. And the pigs are the same way. So having to make areas where the line can go, where the hot wire can go, takes a lot of back labor and clearing out so that the electric fence can go there. So that's what Rich does. He uses his weed eater, or we do. We use the weed eater and he makes a path through the forest, and that way we can put the hot wire in for the pigs, give them the forested area, and then move them on. It's a big deal. It's a lot of work, but the impact that it has on the land is so valuable, it's worth the labor. And the impact is simply the nutrition that the pigs, cows, sheep, whatever the animal happens to be, the nutrition that it puts back into the soil, the nitrogen and all of the biology that the animal urine and animal poop puts back onto the land that has just kind of been sitting stagnant because this was the backside of a farm, and hadn't been used for, or is the backside of a cattle farm that had not been used in quite some time. So it was really nutrient deficient, a lot of broom sedge, which is indicative of land that is fairly poor. So our goal is to use each individual species to help bring that land back up more nutritious. The more nutritious, more biological the soil is, the more nutritious the grass is for all of the animals. The alternative is to put them into locked in spaces and keep them there and bring food to them, much like a CAFO, confined feeding animal operation, or a feedlot of sorts. And that's just not the kind of operation that this is. This is a regenerative farm. We're regenerating the land. We're regenerating the lives of the people. We make sure that the animals are healthy and happy. While pigs like mud, that doesn't mean pigs should only live in mud. And that would be one of the reasons for getting them out of that mud and out of those pens and weed eating, and making it so that the boar and the gilts and the sows, our breeding stock, can get out and root around and live like happy pigs, because we do not like confinement. Let's go see what Rich is up to with the pigs.
And then we're just going to use basically a little jumper cable to jump from the hot wire around to this wire and hot up this wire. We found that the metal wire works way better than the poly, the poly wire, they can just keep pushing and push right through it. The metal wire, we found that they don't do that. And the other thing is it really holds a charge. So with the poly wire, you lose some of the voltage, and with the metal wire, you really don't. So I'm going to go through the gate wire here, hook it on to the loop, and then we're just going to start running this wire around, hooking it onto the insulators as we go, and make them a paddock. We use the rebar. I think it's 5/8 inch rebar, and we just cut it to a couple feet long, 2.5 feet long. It doesn't really matter because we pound it into the ground. And then on this rebar, to pound it in, we use like a 3-pound sledgehammer. We just found that works the best. And then on the rebar, we use these adjustable insulators. So they just have a circle here that when you slide this insulator over the top of the rebar, then you just tighten this down onto the threads, and it holds the insulator in place. And the key that we've found with doing that is put the insulator on the inside of the pen so that the first thing the hogs would touch would be the wire instead of the post. If you turn it the other direction, you run the risk of them bumping into the post and rooting against it without touching the wire first. And then the height to put it is basically nose height. They're very curious animals, and as they approach that fence, if they're wanting to go through it, normally they'll reach out and with their nose they'll sniff it, and they'll touch it with their nose, and it'll shock them, and they'll jump backwards. If you have it too low, then they'll just walk over it, and if it shocks them, they jump and run that direction over the fence. And if it's too high, they'll just duck under it, and if it shocks their back, they run under the fence. The reason we know that is because we've done it so many times. So we've got some that are out enjoying the green, and we have some that are in enjoying the mud. But at least they have the opportunity to get out and roam around now. They'll do a great job of cleaning up all of this, undergrowth, greenery. The gilts and the sows have never been in with each other before, so they're having to learn who's boss. This gilt went back to home base. We're in a bit of a hurry, and because these are just piglets and because they're only staying here temporary, I'm putting the rest of these panels on with zip ties. If they start breaking, we'll come back and put the metal around them. So what you watched us do just then was put together a simple pen with 4 panels, 4 T-posts for each panel, and then we just clamped the panels onto the T-posts. The plan will be, we're going to pick up the piglets this evening. We'll bring you along for that, at least for when they're getting here to the farm. And then they will come into here, and they have a hard wire pen that's going to hold them. We're going to put electric wire around it real soon so they start learning about electricity. After they learn about electricity, what we'll do is take this back panel off right here. That one will stay with zip ties no matter, and we'll cut that one off and drop that panel out of the way completely, and then we will take an electric wire, just like we did with the big hogs that you watched earlier. We'll take an electric wire off through the woods, and then these piglets will be able to get out into the woods, and then we'll run them the rest of their time here on the farm through these woods. Initially, we will wrap them in one of our sheep nets to train them once they get out of this pen. It will not be electrified. It will just be around the single electrified wire, and then they'll spend the rest of their time here on the farm in these woods. And so this is what we mean when we say we raised forested, premium, pure Berkshire pork. They grow up and live their life here in our forest. What we did is constructed just a shelter for the little piglets. We took the pallets that we had and basically just used them like Lincoln logs and fitted them together, and we made 3 sides and a roof out of 10 pallets. These are 2x6. And 4x4 or 3x3 pallets, and I don't know, they're a little over 6 feet long. So you can see we just made them a little shelter. It works great. It's a new kind of construction for me. It's more like farm construction. There's no blueprints, there's no measuring, there's no tape measure, there's no right angles, no left angles, just put the stuff together. For their water, we took a 55-gallon plastic drum, and I cut the top out of it. We ended up hinging the top so that I could get inside it to tighten down the backside of these slip-throughs, they're called, and we use a gravity feed nipple on the outside. It screws into the slip-throughs, and they tighten down then with gaskets on either side of the barrel. And that's the way we're able to get them water. And they use the nipples with no issue. They bite down on this piece right here, and water just comes out. We still have to get the feeders in and the piglets. We went onto the trailer and marked all of them with a little dot with livestock spray paint. So the boys have got blue dots, the girls have got pink dots. It's just so hard to keep track when they're really small, and we lose track of everybody, so we got them all marked. The idea now is we're going to slide this door. Shelly's going to run them towards the door. I'm going to try to pick them up over the fence and just set them down here inside the pen. We'll see.
Wait.
One down. 2, 5, 9, 10, and number 11. All right, good job. All piglets are off the trailer.
Yeah, oh,
And of course, the first thing they want to do is check out the little hut we made for them. They feel safe in there, and they're getting out and exploring. Welcome to the farm. There should be a saying, something about farming pigs and getting dirty, or laying with the pigs, or something like that. We should invent one.
I think they already did.
Oh.
We appreciate you guys hanging out with us again today, watching our pig adventures. And until next time, bye y'all.
Bye y'all.